morning, this beautiful Wednesday morning, and we are here as always on Wednesday. We talk money matters. It is Financial Clinic, and we have a very interesting and a topic that most people fear, or something that most people fear when it comes to, policies and insurances. It is about the last expense planning. Do you have that with you? Have you planned for your last expense? Are you scared about it? Is there a myth or misconceptions around this? Today we're going to debunk all that, and I have a special panel of ladies who are going to be talking to us about it. One of them is so bold, she's already gotten it personally. I don't have. Probably today I'll be recruited, I don't know, but loop into this conversation and talk to us on 20316 SMS, and also WhatsApp us on 0786 316 316 to be part of this conversation this morning. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Whoa,
Thank you.
I'm so excited to have you both here.
Yeah.
Asanteni sana for making time.
Thank you.
And probably we'll just start by introducing yourselves to our audience.
Okay.
Yes, Eunice,
thank you, Family Media, for having us today.
Yeah.
To talk about this very informative thing that many people need to have.
Yeah.
My name is Eunice Odero, and I'm an insurance expert.
Okay.
For the past 18 years.
Wow.
That's what I've been doing.
Experience.
Yes.
Okay, karibu sana, Eunice.
Thank you.
Thank you once again for having me today. My name's Eileen Were, and I'm happy to be here and just to share my experience with the policy, the last expense.
The bold lady. Karibu sana. Karibu sana. And probably let's just dive into the conversation. Eunice, just bring us to speed. What is last expense all about?
Okay. Last expense is an insurance cover that one takes out to give you funds or to avail funds in the demise of a loved one for the use of arranging the funeral expense or the last rites, whichever the person believes in. So it's basically insurance where in case of a death of a loved one or self, funds will be available to the soonest to be able to help the family give a last respect to the loved one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ellen, how did you get to know about last expense? How did you find yourself, or at what point did you decide, I think now I need to have this?
I think I was like you, because I was very skeptical.
Yeah.
And I was like, by the time you're taking this thing out, it's like you're already burying someone.
Yeah.
So Eunice is my friend. I've known her for some time.
Okay.
So when she reached out to me, I was scared, and I was like, I'm really not so sure I want to take it.
Yeah.
But she's very convincing. So she just told me, you try it out. So I took that leap of faith, and I decided to take it out. Yeah.
So today I should be also, I might be recruited. Tajipata.
Yes, yes.
Okay. What are some of the key components, like someone, about that last expense, the key components about it?
Okay. I'll start by saying that, first of all, there are a lot of companies that are offering the last expense cover. You can buy it from banks, you can buy it from insurance companies. There are so many organizations that are offering last expense.
Okay.
Basically, when you're taking out or shopping around for last expense, the first thing you need to look for is your budget.
Budget, okay.
What are you willing to pay? And then the second thing is, as much as there's a budget, does it have flexible payment periods? Like some just say you have to do it yearly, some accept monthly payments, some don't accept individual, only accept groups. So you have to check out for that. Okay. The other thing you need to look out for is something called the sum assured you're getting versus your premium. So there is a variety. Okay. Some companies will give you the money, the sum assured you agreed on, say 100,000, 200,000, and so on. Okay. Some will just tell you we'll go into the expenses. We'll say buy the casket, we'll pay the morgue, we'll do transport and all that. Okay. So you need to look for what you want. So when you're buying it, just know what is covered. Are they going to give you the money, or are they going to provide the services that you may need?
So it actually caters for everything?
Depends.
Or there are different packages?
Different packages. Okay. There are people who will give you money, do whatever you want with it. And some will just say we'll cater for A, B, C, D. Yeah. So they can even give you a choice of say 6, and then you choose 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it varies.
It
Those are the things you
varies.
need to look out for.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
The other thing you need to look out for is age limit, because each company has their entry age limit.
Okay.
Yeah. So especially the old ones mostly are put out
Yeah.
because of the risk factor.
Okay.
But look out for the age limit as you're coming in. Some will say there's an exit age,
Okay.
where once you come in, if you reach that age, you're now out. Some is once you're in, it's forever. So that is one fine print that you need to look out for.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The other thing that you need to look out for is who is covered. So you may take a cover for yourself,
Yeah.
for your whole family, extended family. You need to check on
Right.
that also. So the fine prints is I can say waiting periods,
Okay.
what is covered, you know, and what are the exclusions.
Okay.
Another thing that many people don't know about is the geographical coverage.
Okay.
Some, you will take a cover and you think you're covered worldwide, and maybe it's only East Africa, maybe it's only Kenya.
So if it happens elsewhere,
It's
you're
not covered.
covered.
So you have to ask that question. You have to look for it even in your policy document.
Okay.
Because once you take it, you'll have the terms and conditions. So those are the most important things that you need to look out for.
It doesn't matter the cause of death at that point. Does it matter?
It doesn't matter,
Okay.
because at the entry, at the time you're coming in,
Yeah.
there are questions you are asked, whether you're in good health.
Okay.
And it's normally advisable to, it's called utmost good faith, to just
Be
say the
honest.
truth, be
Yeah.
honest, say I'm ailing, I have this condition.
Yeah.
They will not deny you, mostly they will not deny you, but they'll give you a waiting period for death due to that particular illness
Oh,
or something.
okay.
But mostly they will not.
Okay.
Generally, some will not even consider that, but they'll have a waiting period of, say, 1 year, or 1 year for maybe people who are above a certain age or
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah.
But accidental deaths all over have no waiting period. All over.
Okay.
You take it today and the person passes on tomorrow, it will be honored.
So what happens, for example, if you have the policy, I take the policy today, and you know, not me, someone else takes the policy today, and then something happens tomorrow, they're not there. What happens?
Depends on the cause of death. I'll say
Yeah,
death.
yeah, yeah.
Cause of death. If it's accidental, it will be paid.
Whether it doesn't matter the period.
It doesn't matter the period.
Aha.
If you take it today and you pass on tomorrow accidentally, it will be paid.
Okay.
But if it's an illness, depends on now. The illness now depends on the terms and conditions of that particular company you're taking
And
the
that's why
policy
you
from.
say it's important
Some
to
will
be
have 3
honest.
months waiting period, some
Yeah.
6 months, some
Okay.
depending. So if the waiting period for natural death,
Yeah.
it's normally natural death,
Yeah.
is 6 months.
Okay.
If this person passes on tomorrow through, say, heart attack, it will not be paid.
Okay.
Some companies will refund the premium only. Some ex gratia, they'll just refund the premium.
Okay.
But some, it's neither here nor there.
All right.
As long as the 6 months are not over. But if it's accidental, it's instant.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Elaine, now to you. How, you know, why did you choose to have this policy? And what has it done to you?
Personally, I didn't choose it. It's actually Eunice.
Yes.
It's all Eunice. Because when she approached me the first time,
Right.
I literally had to turn her down. So she kept on pushing me. Then having friends whom I've seen what they've gone through,
Yeah.
especially with the economic times that we are in,
Right.
trying to organize for fundraisers and all that. And her selling point actually was like, by the time you're getting people to even raise these funds for you, you're better off because you will know you already have this money
Yeah.
on the side.
Yeah.
So whatever people will actually be bringing in will just be some surplus. And actually that was a turning point for me because I sat down, I thought about it, having seen friends who've gone through it, and I was like, okay, why not try it out? Yeah.
Because sometimes, Eunice, I feel, or the experience I've had people say, like, our to insurance, they instill fear. Like, you know, I also have a nephew who does the same. And he say, you guys are just here especially when you have a funeral burial at home, you are just here, see now, mungelipwa. So we keep, you feel like fear is being instilled in you. But is that the case really? Because you're told, what if it happens tomorrow? And you're like, why are you even telling me that? And that's why I think it's also a topic that people, something that people are a bit, has that happened to you? Have you experienced people telling you, like,
Yeah, especially, in the African setting, death is not supposed to be discussed,
talked about
openly.
Yeah.
Though over the years, I think things are changing. And, when you tell someone about that, it's not about you especially.
Yes.
See where utakufa.
Yes.
What about that person close to you?
Yeah.
And you'll be responsible for that funeral.
The burden is on you.
The burden is on
you.
Sometimes you just take the conversation to that side first. If it's that person, what would you do? Me ukiniweka WhatsApp group, people will left, or they'll just contribute things that will not even help you. But there's something, but it will not be enough for what you want to do.
True.
So it's a conversation that we need to talk about. It's happening there. Like now, it's all over. It's all over. Things are happening. Deaths are all over. We cannot say it's not going to happen. And I believe there's no one who has not been touched by death in the family. It's something that is all over. It's like cancer. People used to fear, but now it's
in every family.
Everywhere. It's every family. So if it has visited you, you know what happened.
It's true.
You know how many bulls had to be slaughtered, like where I come from. You know that. So you better be careful. Should it happen? And if it doesn't happen, we thank God for the long life. But should it happen, what will you do?
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Ellen, has this given you some peace of mind? And is it something you can, encourage your friends, family to actually go for?
Wow. Yeah. I have a sister who works in a bank, and I remember at some point she spoke to me about it before actually when I took it from Eunice. So I remember when she was talking about it, she was telling me, you need to start thinking about this. And when Eunice was coming to me, I was telling her, actually, my sister mentioned this thing to me. And I'm still dilly-dallying, not really sure whether I should take it or not. But to be honest, I'll tell you, it is something that indeed it helps you at that point when you need it. Because for me, actually, mine happened recently. Because we just lost our mom last year. And I'm always grateful to her, because if she hadn't actually convinced me to the point that I had to take it, we really wouldn't know how to pick it up. Because I think I would have leaned more to my siblings and to other people. But at least with that, it gives you a foothold. You know how you want to give your loved one a deserving send-off.
True.
Yeah. So it is something, I can actually advocate for it.
Okay.
Because also remember, there's a friend of mine who also lost his wife some time back.
Okay.
And actually it's something he told me he's really advocating for it.
It came through for him at that time?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay. Eunice, is there a difference between, life insurance and then the last expense planning? Or are they the same?
They are not. I can say both of them point in the same direction, where funds are given when a person passes on. But life insurance mostly is something that is, I can say, the difference comes in at the point of, say, payment. And then life insurance mostly is bigger sum assures, 10 million, 10, 15 million, 20 million. Last expense is normally smaller amounts, and the premiums are also normally smaller. But the difference is how long does it take for these funds to be availed. So if you have a funeral expense, as long as all conditions are met, all the requirements are met, normally they only need something like a burial permit. But for life insurance to be paid, you'll need the death certificate, which takes a longer period to get. So the burial permit is normally instant, just before you do the burial. Once that comes, between 48 hours and 1 week, you have your money. Yeah, and you can really use it for that particular purpose. But life insurance, still the same. As long as you may be willing to hold
Right.
your loved one for a longer time as you wait to process the things.
The Nigerian way.
The Nigeria way. It's not really ideal.
Okay.
However, you'll find that, you can ask your advisor, you'll find that some life insurances have last expense embodied in it as a rider or as an extra benefit.
Okay.
So when a death occurs, they'll process the portion of the last expense first.
Okay.
Faster. Like if it was say 200,000, they process 200 faster within the 48 hours of 1 week.
Okay.
Then later, once you bring the other documents, they'll process the one for the portion for the life insurance. If it was embodied, if it was attached as a rider or an extra
on
benefit,
the life insurance.
on the life insurance.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, today we are learning. And I know our viewers and listeners, wherever they are also learning one or two things. And please remember to talk to us on 203-16 0786 SMS line 0786 316 sorry, the WhatsApp number. Yeah, so Lynn, do you feel like by having this policy also, your financial planning, has been sorted in some way?
Yeah, because just the same way Eunice has said, by the time you're taking the insurance, it depends. You can sit down with the person selling the insurance to you, and you're able to plan what you're comfortable remitting, be it annually, be it quarterly, be it monthly.
Yeah.
So for me, we sat down and we came up with a plan that is workable for me as an individual. Yeah, so I don't feel like I'm straining, but I feel I am covered.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Eunice, this conversation, like when we started, we were saying it's almost like, a conversation that's not supposed to be there, especially in the African setup. So how do you start this kind of conversation with your family? Because already probably children and, they're like, Kwani mami, So how do you start? How do you start this kind of conversation?
It mostly depends. Depends on how the family lives together.
Yes.
There are families that discuss issues together. And I would recommend that you discuss these issues not when you're having dinner.
Yes.
But at the time when you are maybe sourcing out for car insurance, for example. You say that, I'm sourcing for a car insurance where if my car is hit, if my car is written off, we pay it. And then it's part of that. Say, by the way, we need to also look at this kind of insurance. Also, when you're sourcing for something like healthcare or medical insurance, still about you.
Yeah.
These you can chip in and put it in there and say, hey, by the way, anything can happen. We need to plan for this also. But the best time to talk about it is when you've been put in a WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
Say me and or my spouse. Then he says, hey, these WhatsApp groups zimekuwa mingi. By the way, if anything happens, will you want to do a WhatsApp group?
Yeah.
There's something we can do about it. Or when you've gone, say, for a funeral, and after the funeral, like ladies will like to discuss, did you see the casket? The cutter was, So you're like, you need to have something like that, but then you need to have something like a cover or something like that. Recently, one of my friends lost their grandmother, and the limo, it was a limo, and that one that has some wings, and that, and you want to give that last respect, and you cannot do it with your own cash or kwa mchango and harambee. So if you really want to give that last respect, if you're proud of your loved one and you want to, it's a show off, you want to give them that last respect from your heart, you may not be able to afford it as an individual. And harambees and contributions might not take you where you want to reach.
Yeah, even the economic times really.
Exactly. Everyone it's tough for everyone. If I used to contribute 2,000 for, say, a funeral, now I have to reduce it to 500. Someone might not even contribute at all. But it's not because they don't want, they don't have it. And
sometimes you find yourself in various groups. There's this one, a relative, a colleague,
So it's a discussion that
can't be avoided.
It can't be avoided, and you need to make fun of it.
Yeah.
it doesn't mean that you're going to die. But it's happening all over. We go for funerals every weekend. There's a funeral every weekend. So it's not something to fear. Because one thing I say is, if you are at peace and you know you've lived your life well, and you know you were born again and you know where you're going, why should you fear?
Yeah.
Fear no evil. In fact, most people who have it like for themselves, they never go. Because hawana mawazo, they have peace of mind. But people are worried so much. Oh, what will I do? You don't have peace of mind. You even develop problems.
That's a good point, really. Yeah, that peace of mind.
That peace of mind is very important. Yeah, and you mentioned something about the budgeting and the financial. Right. You know, sometimes it may happen, and you didn't have any plan, and you had your savings somewhere for school fees. No contribution came through. You'll use your money. Yeah. You'll use the school fees. Yeah. For funeral. Then you will start afresh again. So your finances are not safe if those risks that are around you are not litigated. Your finances are not safe wherever they are. Whether you put them in maybe you have a car or something, they're not safe as long as these other risks are not taken care of.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And at a smaller cost. Smaller cost. I can tell the people some is like 100 shillings per month. What is 100 shillings per month? You can't even get a plate of fries.
Fantastic.
And it's 100 shillings per month. So guys, consider it.
A good point.
Consider it. It will cushion you big time. It will cushion your savings. It will cushion your investments. Yeah. It will cushion you big time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I love that point of peace of mind. And with that peace of mind, let us just be there in that peace of mind as we take a break from this, but we'll be right back with more on this conversation, The Last Expense. We'll be right back. Don't go too far.
What has family media meant to you?
For me, family media, I started listening to family media when I was still in high school, and I loved the music. I always wanted to sing. I would go sometimes and pray in secret and tell God, Lord, I want to know how to sing. But whenever I tried to make a song, the song would just be something
you're like
else.
me, I'm a bad singer too.
Yes. So I continued on, but there's a time I started listening to this Christian music. I loved singing in English. So I would listen to this good music that was coming from Radio 316, and I kept listening to them and saying, one day I'll be able to write that way. So there are these songs that started coming just into my heart, and I would see them follow the patterns. So by just that admiration, right now I've been able to write like I can say 20 songs, but I've written, the ones that I've gone to studio with are like 3 songs.
To become a partner, SMS the word partner to 20316. That's 20316.
Welcome back to Financial Clinic this beautiful Wednesday morning, where we are discussing about the last expense planning, a topic that most of us may want to avoid, but it is important, just like our expert here, Eunice, has told us. Well, this is a month that we just want to, a week that we want to just thank God for being here, appreciating the time that, and even the resources that we have, just keeping Jesus on the airways. For the last 25 years, it has been so impactful. It has impacted this particular media house, this particular, content has impacted a lot of people out there. People have been blessed, people have been healed, people have been helped through this particular platform. And therefore, we just want to encourage you to keep on being with us and working with us to ensure that Jesus is still on the airwaves, just to touch people's lives out there. And you can do that just by keeping on supporting us. Keep on supporting us as, you know, we continue walking this journey. 25 years is not a short time. So be part of this, and, you know, as we go on with this conversation. And Eunice, I'm just looking at, you know, our socials, and I'm seeing someone asking a question here. And he says, what if I'm struggling financially and I want to get that last expense planning? How do I go about it? And I think we had left it, that's exactly what you're talking about.
Yes.
It's as easy as what? Even 100 bob?
100 bob. Yeah.
Okay.
So what I would advise this person is get someone like an advisor in insurance.
Okay.
Normally, you'll say you're struggling financially. We're all struggling financially right now. I know what is happening. But 100 shillings a month, even if you are earning on a daily basis, that is around, is it 3 shillings per day?
Yeah.
3 shillings per day. Sure enough, everyone is able to put it aside. If you're not able to do that, you can just look for like 1,200 per month.
Okay.
But I would advise get an expert or an advisor. They'll fit you somewhere.
Okay.
They'll fit you. There's always something for everyone.
Something will be tailor-made
As long as you're living, you're eating, you have some little income.
Yes.
There's something for everyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And on top of that, they can join something like a welfare, and then the welfare can source on their behalf as a group.
Okay.
Becomes even cheaper.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I think that's that viewer or listener, you've answered that question quite well. Ellen, in your package, what are some of the expenses that are covered?
In my package, actually, it is my family.
Yes.
My family and my parents. That is what actually I was able to get into my package.
Ah, okay.
Yes, because you realize, just the same way Eunice has said, none of us where you're seated right now can say that you've never experienced that. So the minute you experience it, you realize taking the last expense, it's not about condemning people to death, just the same way you're going to take the insurance, medical insurance. It does not mean you're falling sick, but you're just planning ahead. So it's the same thing.
Okay.
So mine actually, it is not, we didn't put it like the way she was saying, you do the casket and all that. Mine was lump sum. So when it happens, you're given the money, so it is you to plan yourself how you want to spend it.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, that's even, you know, anyway, everybody with their own preferences, isn't it, Eunice?
Yes.
I'm seeing someone ask you a question. What are the pros and cons of having the last expense?
I'll start with the pros. The pros is, one, it gives you a peace of mind. You are able to get funds. You get that funding when you need it most. You know, death is very emotional and stressful. Very emotional and stressful. And there can be a lot of confusion at that time.
Yeah.
So you can imagine financial confusion coming in again.
At that particular
Makes it even worse.
Yeah.
Makes it even worse. So it's something that will lift you a bit from where you are when that death strikes, and actually cushions you against that financial stress that might come with it.
Okay.
So the pro is, it is all good.
Okay.
It is all good.
Okay. You're not seeing any disadvantages to it?
The cons, maybe it's something you pay forever. If nothing happens in 15 years, that money goes. So people feel
it has a time limit?
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
It's life.
It doesn't? Okay.
It's life.
All right.
So someone may say, I'm paying this money, nilipa miaka 15.
Then the moment probably you stop is the moment something happens.
Yeah, but they now look at I'm paying and paying and paying and paying. And then another con is you stop paying, you're not covered. Even if you had paid for 15 years, you stop paying, you're not covered.
Okay.
So it's pay as you, you're covered.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this something that, Elaine, you sit with Eunice again to review, or is this just once you have it, that's it? Do you at any point need to sit together and just review it?
I think maybe they have to sit down with Heights maybe to increase my premium.
Okay.
I'm thinking so.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think because it is something that it's tailored to your own comfortability.
Okay.
I think for now I'm still comfortable with whatever we had discussed.
Okay.
Unless now I want to review it.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
But just the same way she says, one of the things that I feared most was like, why if I just keep on contributing and it's not helping me? But I think after I've experienced it, I even realized I'd not even reached that 1 year. And yet I was a beneficiary.
Yeah.
So I'm asking myself, so there are people actually who have contributed more than me, but they've not benefited,
Yeah.
but already have.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And does this policy have, like yours in particular, does it have any limitations? You know, like there are things you can't do. Any limitations to it?
No, for me it doesn't, because just the same way I said, it is lump sum. So once it happens, when you provide the right documentation, that is the burial permit, and maybe the letter from the hospital or the authorities as you're required, the money is processed and you're given. So it is up to you to decide how you want to spend it.
How long, like in your case, did it take when you know
It
the processing
actually
of the
took
cash?
3 days.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's within a very workable
Yes.
time frame, isn't
Yes.
it?
Yeah.
Eunice, does a will or even a trust play a role in the last expense planning?
Not quite.
Okay.
Not quite. Again, unless you go the Nigerian way,
Yes.
where you will keep the body for a long
For
time,
long.
you find that before a will is executed,
Yeah.
it takes a long time. Sometimes there may be someone coming in and saying that it's not supposed to be there that way, and then you go the court way. It takes even a longer time.
Yeah.
A trust, same. The period within which these funds can be availed is a bit longer.
Okay.
There is also a caution to it.
Okay.
After this death, there's life to the remaining people have to live life. And as I mentioned, that a death can be emotionally stressful, financially stressful. You can be very confused. And funds from, say, a trust are availed. You may be tempted or even forced to use a lot of it, especially maybe when there was a medical bill. You may be tempted to use because it's available. And emotionally, when it's my loved one has gone, you know.
Yeah.
Then once you're done with the funeral, you're left alone. And the trust fund is gone. And life has to continue.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't advocate for that at all.
Okay.
I wouldn't.
All right.
Let a will, let a trust fund help in the continuation of the life standards that your loved ones you are wishing for your loved ones when you do that will, or you are setting up that trust fund.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And I'm seeing a question here. Jason is saying, hello, I appreciate your continued enlightenment of us viewers. My question is, that last expense cover of 100 per month covers what and up to how much, and which insurance is this? This is too good to be true. Thank you. That is Jason who is asking that question.
Thank you, Jason. I know it's too good to be true. And anytime anyone is told about the cost of life's expense, they feel that it's too good to be true. I wouldn't mention the insurance company, but this will buy you something like 50,000 in last expense. And what I normally say is, it is too good to be true, but as companies, we rely on game of numbers, where we have so many people, but the certainty that 10 out of the 1,000 will pass on is a bit little. Yeah. Especially if the age group is small. So there's a lot of calculations that have gone into it through actuaries, and it's true. Yes, it's true. You can get a cover. Yeah. And that's around 50,000. Okay. 50,000, or depending on the company. Yeah. But I won't mention.
You would mention, so the person can go do some research and all that. And probably to you, Eileen, how, do you have both the life insurance and last expense, or you do just have one?
I have 2 policies. Okay. With Liberty. Yeah. So I have the It is not life. This one is more of education. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you don't have like the life, because you're saying this could be like a rider. So I thought probably you have the life, then this one is just...
She's still selling me the life one. Yes.
So it's working. Okay.
Yeah, it's still work in progress.
Okay, that's fantastic.
Yes.
Okay, then there's also a question again, Eunice, to you. Someone is saying, good morning, Sally, enjoying the show. I would like to ask Eunice, do they have a way to safeguard against insurance fraud? I have heard of instances a person is killed because of insurance, and indeed it's true that we've seen that a lot.
Very true.
So how do you mitigate that?
Depends, especially this last expense is really prone to fraud, because I'll just pay 1,000 or 500 and then someone is killed.
Yeah.
In insurance, all insurance have something called investigators, and when you notice something that is queer about that fraud, it will just have some signs that there's a problem with it. For example, the person taking out the insurance, say it's a spouse taking out insurance for the other spouse, then within a month they are dead, and before they're even buried, you see the kind of commotion with the money, and normally they take out a bigger sum assured. So like I'll just do, for these ones you can do up to even 5 million.
Okay.
So they take a bigger sum assured, like 5 million, and they pay a smaller amount. That one will raise question marks, and insurance have ways of finding out.
Oh.
They have.
Okay.
Some may pass, but 95% of the time they'll have. For we also look at the time of application.
Okay.
You will find that someone has taken out insurance for the other person, and they don't want the other person to know. Like, I'm taking out insurance in your name. In your name, you are the owner of the insurance.
Okay.
But I'm using my details, my name, my telephone number,
Wow.
There are so many things, especially at the point of entry, but even at the point of claim. When someone is bereaved, you can always see. And from even the advisors or that person who sold that insurance, from that point, you'll be able to see that something is weird. Something is weird. I have lost a family member. I'm not remorseful. It happens. The other type that happens is normally, I'll just go out of topic a bit, is the life insurance.
Okay.
Where you take out life insurance for someone, you are recently married and this person dies mysteriously or in an accident or something like that. When we see something like that, we have to have investigators.
Right.
And that may take long. It's deep investigation. We even go to the extent of visiting the grave, asking a few questions about these two people. Or Another thing is sometimes you're not allowed to take insurance for. Say, I want to give like an example of a child who is not your biological child. We call it insurable interest. So someone who is not your biological child, you have to give evidence of, say, adoption or something like that. Someone has taken an insurance policy and then they say, this person is my fiancé as a beneficiary. Mostly it's not allowed. Mostly it's not allowed. Or a friend as a beneficiary.
This is where foul play can come in.
Or a friend as a beneficiary. So if you say this person was my wife, and then we sense there's something that is weird, we can always ask a chief or parents when you're doing our investigations, and we'll say, no, ada tujui ni nani, So from there now we go to the next stage and the next stage of investigations.
Okay.
And the ones for illnesses, some people may say, I have a relative who is in ICU. Let me go and take a cover for this person. In insurance, it's normally a two-way between the client and the insurance company. There's something called utmost good faith. We don't insure what is happen? What has happened? So you come to us with good faith that I'm insuring against unforeseen event, not something you've planned for.
Yeah.
And we are saying that if all the details you gave us was true,
Yeah.
faithfully we will honor our side of the story.
Yeah.
So you see someone is unwell, then you run and take a cover. Then you said this person was okay in the application. Then they die after 6-7 months, after the waiting period.
Yeah.
And then when we get the letter from the hospital, we say this person was hospitalized for 3 months. Because we'll ask for that letter, the discharge letter from the hospital. They've been in hospital for 3 months,
Right.
and you took the cover and you said they were well. They've been. It's easy to trace.
Yeah.
It's easy to trace, and you know when you're lying, you have to lie so many times to cover the other lie.
Okay.
And eventually you're caught.
Yeah, of course. There's
Truth
always a
never
way.
changes.
There's always a way that
There's
you know.
always you'll mess up
truth
somewhere.
will definitely pop up. Yeah.
So for this, we have investigators.
Okay.
And we are able to. Most of the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
But what I'll advise our viewers is be honest from the word go. You're better off, you're not given because of a condition you have than lying about it.
Then you get,
Yeah,
you know.
but if you say the truth about the condition you have, they'll accept you with your condition.
Okay.
And then maybe give you a waiting period, but they'll accept you.
Okay.
Knowing that you had this. So let's just be honest when you're sourcing out for these insurance covers.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
Elaine, being a beneficiary of this amazing policy, actually, I can say, how then were you able to balance between like your own personal wishes and then now also your parents are part of this, right? The policy and their own preferences, because I think Eunice, it's about I can decide. I want this color, I want flowers, I want a church memorial service, isn't it? So how are you able to balance between that and just agree, or was it like mom and dad, this is how it's going to be, How did you balance that?
Okay. Unfortunately, both of them are not there.
Oh, okay.
So you see, mostly once you're gone, you're gone. There's no way out you'll wake up and start saying you want A, B, C, D.
But you're planning this. When we are taking, we are planning, or you don't for, planning means foreseeing and saying,
so
this is what I would want.
I remember at some point we would have conversations with my mom and she would say, if I die, I don't want you guys to bring me outside catering. And we are like, we don't want you to tie lessons and start cooking in your funeral. You know? So I remember at some point my sister was joking, that time you'll be dead. So
we'll do what we want.
It is us to decide. So I think it's something that you do to the best that you can.
Okay.
To the best that you can. You'll give them the best that deep down in your heart. You'll have that peace knowing I gave it my all. For me, that is the bottom line, because it would be so unfortunate that you would be able to take such a cover and then you have the money and you're not able to give them the best that you are supposed to. I think even you where you'll be seated, your conscience alone will be eating you up.
Okay. Eunice, what are the financial implications? Not everyone goes the traditional, if I may call it that, traditional burial way. What are the cost implications between the traditional burial way and then cremation when it comes now to the last expense?
Traditional burial way, I can say, quote unquote, varies with
culture.
With culture and where we are coming from. There are some, I won't mention names, that it's a ceremony.
Yeah.
Or let me just mention, because it's the reality in the ground. So in the Luo culture, it's a ceremony.
Celebration of life.
Bulls are slaughtered, all that. In the Luo culture, it's almost the same thing. And they even start on Thursday, all the way, maybe from the mountain, not so much, but nowadays they've embraced the catering and the polluting, that celebration. Long time ago, it was never. They just used to go bury. Everyone go their way.
You live,
But nowadays they've embraced that. So I can say traditional is costly. It's costly.
Okay.
And to some people, I can say they feel it's satisfying. They've mourned enough. They're able to mourn. And that is why after burial, some people still stay behind. And that. I Cremation mostly is, I can say, is the will, first of all, the will of the person maybe who's died. Some people nowadays say, I want to be cremated. Maybe they don't want their people to go through all that cost thing, or maybe emotional. Everyone has their reason for choosing cremation.
Right.
But cremation is, I can say, a cheaper way. However, some people may do the cremation, then after maybe to take the ashes and then now go do a celebration and celebrate that life.
Right.
So it also depends on how they want to do it. But traditional is normally it's normally expensive. And you can do a traditional that is not expensive, but I can say the cost mostly is on traditional.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ellen, when you're now being taken through this process and all that by Eunice, was there any provision, like now you can pick someone, for example, in your absence, who can be like the manager now of, because it's for, in your case, you're being given funds. So, you know, if now you're not there today, were you given that opportunity, like to pick someone who will be able now to manage that fund when you're not there?
Yeah,
someone that you
it's
trust.
Next of kin.
Yes.
Oh.
There's a next of kin you pick. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Eunice, that doesn't change at any given point?
Okay, once you take out last expense, say for your family and extended family, you are the principal owner. So, meaning that in case any of those people pass on, you are the beneficiary. However, if it's you who passes on, you'll give us a name of someone who is the next of kin in case you pass on.
Oh, okay.
And this can change anytime. You can change it anytime until your death. So we'll go with the last person you choose. Yes.
Yeah,
that can change.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the principal member cannot change.
Obviously,
yes.
yeah, definitely. So if someone is out there watching and maybe they're just wondering, watching and even listening, and they're wondering, how do they then start this journey? How do they start the journey of just getting that last expense? What is your advice to them or your guidance?
I will advise that you can walk into any insurance company or talk to any insurance agent.
Okay.
They will be able to advise you. All insurance companies have.
Yeah.
Banks do intermediaries to insurance companies. You can walk to any bank, you can walk to any insurance company. You can look for welfare. Most welfares are conversant with these issues. So walk to any, talk to any insurance agent, any bank will be able to guide it. Be guided.
Okay.
Yes.
Ellen, apart from now the amount that, you know, do we call it sum insured, or that last expense, do you have any other funds that you put aside for that, or it's just that you know you've planned yourself with that?
That's a good question. Of course, you plan yourself. There's a saying that says you don't put all your eggs in one basket. So you have to learn how to spread your risks.
Right.
Just the same way, just like the last question you've asked, Eunice. For me, what I would say, life in itself is a risk. Just for you to wake up, get out of your bed and step out of your house, it's a risk on its own. So you have to learn to take that leap of faith that as I go out or as I plan this, God will go ahead of me. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Eunice, as we wind up, because we have like probably 3 minutes or so, you know, what is the role of communication in the whole of this process? You know, from the beneficiary side, like how they communicate to you, from you to her, you know, it's a whole process. So what is the role of, or the importance of communication in all this?
I can say the communication is depending on how you got the policy. Mostly I can say tripartite. Three.
Yeah.
So there is you, the insured.
Yes.
There is the insurance company, and there is the intermediary.
Okay.
Mostly the intermediary is closer to the insured, more than the company mostly. And intermediary plays a bigger role because they'll always know when something is happening to their client, you know, something like that. But it's also the responsibility of the insured and the insured to notify that next of kin or one of the relatives that they have a policy with such and such company for this purpose. Because there's a lot of money that is going to unclaimed assets because no one is claiming. Someone passed on 5 years ago, no one knows. Or they took and they didn't say for the fear of maybe being killed or something. But it's a responsibility of the insured to be open and tell at least a loved one
Yeah.
or a relative that I have
This.
such and such a car. It's the responsibility of the intermediary to be checking on their client every
Yeah,
now and then.
sure.
You know, every now and not pestering them, but every now and then you need to know what is happening in the life of your client. It's the responsibility of the company that has offered that to send messages every now and then. Send information, send statements.
Okay.
You know, when you send all these, if this person passed on, their phone could be on,
Yeah.
and they'll see a message. A relative will see a message
Yeah.
that this so-and-so insurance company has sent you a message on this.
Okay.
And they'll come running because they know
Yeah,
chances
kuna
are there's
kitu
money,
hapo.
kuna kitu hapo, you know. So it's like
Yeah.
tripartite. All the three have a responsibility.
So communication is very,
Very important.
Very important.
Very important.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that, Ellen?
Yeah, I do.
And again, on communication
Yeah.
is maybe a client has lost a job. They want to downgrade or something like that. It's important. We'd rather downgrade than not pay and not have it at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Wow. You're saying something briefly about communication as well?
Yeah, communication it's actually very key because just the same way I said, I'm a beneficiary as much as I didn't attain the 1 year. And because of the constant communication I used to have with her, she was
Right.
able to guide me on how to go about it and the process and how to ensure that everything is sorted out.
Okay.
And actually she used to keep on calling me, has it been sorted? What have you been told? And should follow up.
Awesome.
So I think the intermediary actually plays a key role.
Okay.
And they're very key to the insured.
Oh,
Yeah.
fantastic. There we have it. We've come to the end of the show. Thank you so much for the insights. Thank you so much, Elaine, for being here just to tell us and take us through the benefits that you've had, you know, holding this policy of last expense. Eunice, amazing content right there. Asante sana for just educating and enlightening our, you know, our audience. And to you, my viewer and listener, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being here with me, keeping me company, giving us your feedback, asking the questions. I just want to say asante sana. I appreciate you and I appreciate your time. And then that special group of people, you know, the partners, people who help us and hold our hands to walk this journey each and every single day, bringing you amazing content, putting Jesus on the airways. For the last 25 years, it has not been easy, but with your help, with your support, we've been able to do this up to this point. I want to say thank you so much. And if you want to be part of this community that is so impactful in people's lives, then you can do that by just sending your name to 20316 or SMS line on 0786316316. Send the name partner and we'll reach out to you and, you know, start the process from there. And if you have any support that you may want to just bless Family Media with, then you can send that to our pay bill number 316316 and the account name shall be your telephone number. God bless you and keep you. And remember, the last expense is important. Baraka.